Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Yes, it is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network here on this Thursday, live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time every weekday, and then wherever you get your podcasts. I am Cam Stewart. I don't know how to get that off the screen. Zach Burke is keeping us on the air today as we talk about Brandon Aiyuk back in the Patriots target again. The Patriots want him again. Why that might not be the best call and who they should actually be going for in this free agency window. Plus, we will take a look at, speaking of making personnel moves, the trade deadline is tomorrow in the NHL. Is Brad Marchand still an option to be traded for the Bruins, and why that is probably the best thing for them to do? Where could he be going? All of that, as well as a historic performance from the Boston Celtics last night. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard just did something that no Celtics duo has ever done. None of them. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. Starting with the Patriots. Can I get rid of this here? I don't want this in here. I can't. Well, now you guys know who I am, but I don't want the name tag. We never have the name tag. That's why, because I didn't do this thing. That's why. Yeah. Oh, well, it's still there. So there we go. Yes. Okay, now we can start it. The Cam Show. So we've talked about in the last few days that the wide receivers that the Patriots should be pursuing, right? And that's one of the top positions. It's not the top position that they need to be looking at, but it's the easiest one to talk about on the radio because it's a sexy position and you guys know the names, and so do I. We've talked through T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, probably, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, I think still on the table, but in the future here, as we get through free agency in a couple days. But really, the newest name on the market is a familiar one. The one that the Patriots almost spent a king's ransom for in the summer. He didn't want to come here. Now he might not have any choice. Todd McShay, Massachusetts native and obviously longtime football analyst, is saying he's hearing rumors about Brandon Aiyuk being traded from the San Francisco 49ers to the New England Patriots. There's been all kinds of drama with Aiyuk in his time in San Francisco, and we know that he wanted to become a free agent last year. He was on the tag, and then they ended up re-signing him. They get a nice cushy deal, and the rumors came out afterwards the Patriots were offering 3 years at $30 million a year to make him one of the highest paid receivers in the entire NFL. He didn't want to come here. And he didn't really love San Francisco from everything that we saw, but he re-signed with San Francisco. Now, a torn MCL and ACL later, they owe him $22 million on April Fool's Day, and they might be wanting to get rid of him. They already got rid of Deebo Samuel. The Niners are trying anything to save some money here, and Brandon Aiyuk may be the next one to go. I mean, we won't talk about the dumpster fire that the 49ers have become, but rather let's focus on the Patriots here. If you're the Patriots, this is a guy clearly you really liked last summer with the same scouting team. Whether it will be the scouting team after the draft, that remains to be seen, but this deal would be done before the draft. So this is the same group of people that loved Aiyuk in August when they were ready to give $90 million to him. And, it should be in his prime, obviously at age 27. That gets, maybe that's different now that he's torn every major ligament in his knee in this past year. But he's 27 years old. He's made an all-pro team. He's had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons. On paper, it's exactly what the Patriots need at wide receiver. The only thing that's different, the only thing that's kind of a drawback is the fact that you already tried to get him and he didn't want to come here. And there are some people that I think are justifiably concerned with Brandon Aiyuk's real potential. Because here's a guy who's played in the Shanahan offense for his whole career. And there's just questions about whether those guys can thrive in another system and can thrive anywhere else other than San Francisco or playing for Kyle Shanahan. I think that's a fair criticism. But again, we talk about it the same thing with T. Higgins with the Bengals. It's like, Yeah, we don't know if he can be a number one yet, but the Patriots don't even have a number two. So they might need to pay number one money to a number two and hope he becomes a 1.5 because Drake May is so good. Like that's what you got to hope for at this point if you're the Patriots. And Aiyuk, look, the numbers are the numbers, right? He's still pretty productive. He was having a good year last year, decent year last year. I think he had 25 catches through, 6.5 games before getting hurt. So that's the first thing you got to think about. When's he coming back? Tears his ACL, MCL in week 7. So you're probably getting him hopefully by the start of games. He's out there and kind of ready to go. Maybe more realistically, a month into the football season of actual games is when he's going to be available to be Drake May's top target. But I mean, again, if you're dealing with the talent pool the Patriots have right now, it's almost like you're gonna have to overpay. Like you are going to be paying probably one peg above what all these guys are. Because we don't know if T. Higgins is going to be a number one receiver, but it wasn't going to matter. You're going to have to pay him number one. Brandon Aiyuk, same thing. He's never really been the number one receiver in San Francisco, whether he's a better pure receiver than Debo or not. He might have been the third option for San Francisco behind Debo and Christian McCaffrey. That's kind of this whole thing of like, it's a much different offense and pecking order that he'd be playing in. By the way, Brandon Aiyuk and T. Higgins come in the same year, 2020. And since then, their numbers are pretty similar for a guy in T. Higgins being, the number one, or was going to be the number one free agent wide receiver on the market, versus Brandon Aiyuk, who last year, a lot of other fan bases or a lot of other analysts outside of New England were saying, I don't know if I'd spend this kind of money on Brandon Aiyuk. They have roughly the same yards per reception, roughly the same amount of yards. Higgins has an edge in receptions by 36 over a 5-year span. So that's somewhat significant. Obviously, more rushing attempts for Aiyuk in that style of offense. And Aiyuk's the only one of the two who's made the All-Pro team. Made the second team All-Pro in the last full season that he played in 2023 when he had well over 1,000 yards. Something the Patriots could only dream about. When was the last time they had a 1,000-yard wide receiver? Golly, it's been a long time. I might have to go back and find that. It's been a while since they've had a 1,000-yard receiver. So the best part about this for the Patriots, it's not going to cost you $30 million. In fact, it's not even going to be close to that. So if you can get Brandon Aiyuk here and he's any semblance of the player that he was in San Francisco, any semblance of an all-pro player, anywhere close to that, you're going to get him at a bargain. Because right now, it's being in a trade, you're probably talking about a day 3 pick here. A round 4 pick, probably, for a guy that is in the first year of his deal. They're desperately trying to get rid of, and he's off a major injury this season. I mean, I wouldn't say any more than a 3rd or a 4th round pick. And San Francisco is going to have to eat some of that salary. That's a definite. I don't know if it's going to be half the salary, but they're going to have to eat a chunk of that salary, which is $22 million as of April 1st. That's going to be way better than what the Patriots offered to get him in free agency. So this could end up being a win for the Patriots. And I kind of said this about, the recent days of Devontae Adams and T. Higgins and looking at some of these other guys that are available in free agency. Like with that kind of a budget cut there, you could get Aiyuk and Chris Godwin. 2 guys with real great potential that are still in their primes, but also both suffered major injuries in week 7 in 2024. Or, you go out and get one of those guys. You're not paying $30 million for them. You go out and get one of those guys, and then you get Cooper Kupp. And already that's such an upgrade right there versus paying $32 million a year for T. Higgins. And I like T. Higgins. I don't know if I like him that much, but that's kind of the nature of the game for the Patriots. You're going to have to overpay some guys. But if you can get Aiyuk in a combination of one of those other guys, those veteran guys who are on deal 3, Godwin, Kupp, Amari Cooper, guys like that, that's a major upgrade for your offense. And especially in the case of guys like Cooper Kupp and Amari Cooper, wrong side of 29, but haven't had major injuries in their career, like not enough that it would worry you as it would for, Godwin and Aiyuk, who are literally working off major injuries right now. I think it's a viable option for the Patriots. I agree with Todd McShay. Actually, Todd McShay just said he was hearing rumors. I didn't hear rumors, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to go. Now, the obvious in the room is that wide receiver is not the biggest position of need. It is tackle. I would say left tackle, but it's also right tackle. I mean, they need both of those. They didn't have a single NFL caliber tackle last year. In fact, they might not have had a single NFL caliber offensive lineman last year. How have they attacked that position so far? Well, they already saw one of their best linemen from years gone by, Joe Thuney, get traded to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick. And now the report is that the Patriots were in on that deal potentially, but they wouldn't meet that asking price of a 4th-round pick. And people are already up in arms. How do you not give up a 4th-round pick for Joe Thuney? Look how effective this guy's been. And I get it. But you also got to take on the money that Joe Thuney's getting, which is what? $18 million? It was something that's too much for an interior offensive lineman. And if you're the Patriots, if you had tackles, that would have been a great route to go. And you need help at all 5 of the offensive line positions. But you're going to need to go out and pay a tackle. It's not easy to take on that kind of salary for a guard, as good as he's been. So that leaves us with Ronnie Stanley. Going to be probably the top free agent tackle out there. Baltimore looks like going to let him get to market here. He's on the wrong side of 30, but he hasn't had a major injury history. And I think there's a lot of teams around the league that think he's still got something left in the tank, because according to Karen Garigian of Mass Live, the 2 teams that are going to be in on him in particular are going to be the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. That usually spells bad news for the Patriots. And the Chiefs really need some help on that offensive line. The entire world saw it a couple weeks ago, right? They saw what that Eagles defensive line did to them, bullied them. It's not as much of a need as it is for the Patriots, but let's put you in Ronnie Stanley's size 16 shoes for a second here. You've got 2 teams coming after you, similar money. The last real contract you're going to get, short money, big money, but short. 2-year deals, and it's going to be the New England Patriots, who have won 8 games in the last 2 seasons and play in Foxborough, Massachusetts, or the team that's won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years and just went to another one. If I'm Ronnie Stanley, which one am I going to pick? The only thing that would give the Patriots hope here is that the Patriots are more desperate. Right? They're just more desperate. They don't have the quarterback that Kansas City has. They don't have the coaching that Kansas City has. And so the Chiefs, I think, would be looking at a guy at Ronnie Stanley's age and that kind of price tag. And if the Patriots give him, 22, 25 million, the Chiefs might be like, you know what? We'll take our chances with Pat Mahomes here. That's a real possibility. And again, like it is with any free agent out there, the Patriots' only hope is that they're going to give him way more money than the other teams would, because they have to overspend, because they have to just piss money away. They have to, or else no one will come there. And then the literally, like, the long-term goal of how the Patriots become a more attractive destination is they way overpay for some of these guys in this year and maybe next year, get them in here, raise the profile of the organization, have Drake May grow as they expect him to grow. And then maybe, just maybe, you get a situation like you had with Tom Brady or with Buffalo, that Buffalo has with Josh Allen, or even Green Bay with their litany of quarterbacks over time, that they say, wow, yeah, it is in the middle of nowhere. It's cold as holy hell, but they've got the quarterback. And because they've got a good quarterback, that means they've got good structure, right? Green Bay has always had great structure. Has it been because of the GM and the head coach and the offensive coordinator, or is it because the quarterbacks have been Hall of Famers? Buffalo, I like McDermott, but how much do you know, like, oh, wow, what a great organization? Because it wasn't for 20 years until Josh Allen got there and became a good football player. So that's what the Patriots can only hope for right now. And maybe it starts with Ronnie Stanley. Maybe it starts with Brandon Aiyuk. Maybe it starts with Devontae Adams. But you get some guy in here, you way overpay. They form something. The Patriots have some semblance of being a decent, adequate NFL football team. And then all of a sudden, guys saying, maybe I am picking between the Patriots and Team X. The Patriots, they're going to offer a little bit less, but this Drake May kid, look at this connection he's got with him. Or look at how Mike Vrabel's turned this thing around. Maybe I can compete for a Super Bowl if I play here. That's way down the line. But that's what it has to start with in this free agency window. I would absolutely go for Ronnie Stanley. I know the age thing is not great, and these guys make it to market for a reason. But you've got a legit left tackle just sitting out there. It doesn't happen often. You usually have to go and draft one, and you're not going to be able to draft one at your position in the first round. But here's one that's out there. It's got plenty of NFL experience. We know he's an NFL adequate offensive lineman, and the Patriots need those in the worst kind of way. Yeah, I would overpay for him for 2 years. No doubt. No doubt. Bring in Ronnie Stanley, bring in Brandon Aiyuk. Maybe you got something here. Maybe you got something for the future. They have plenty of other issues, but maybe, just maybe, they can go and make that work. So yeah, the wide receiver position is the one that's the sexy one to talk about, but right and left tackle, I mean, no doubt those have to be the first ones, man. They absolutely have to be the first ones. Speaking of which, Bruins have already made their first trade in this trade deadline season. Deadline coming up tomorrow on Friday. Is Brad Marchand still the best option to ship out? Is Brandon Carlo staying home? What are these Bruins actually going to do when the deadline comes? We'll talk about that next on the Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusanes.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
Welcome back. It's the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. Trade deadline tomorrow, Friday, for the Boston Bruins and the 31 other teams in the NHL. But the Bruins are in one of the weirdest predicaments of any team in the NHL. If you ask me and most Bruins fans, it's not that difficult a predicament. You need to get the most that you can get. You need to fire sale. You need to sell it off. But everyone around the league, people in the know, that are talking heads and have connections, are still saying that the Bruins could do a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying. I don't know what the hell that means. Genuinely don't know what that means. But the Bruins are in as close to teardown mode as they've been since 2006. And they've only had themselves to blame. They've put themselves in this position with the roster that they put together and the really poor asset management that they've had for the last 7 or 8 years, even though it was covered up most of the time by the team winning. And the core of the old guard still being the core. Talking about guys like Chara and Bergeron and Krejci, Tuukka, Marchand, Brad Marchand, still the captain of the team. And here's how far it's fallen. Brad Marchand, at 36 years old, is still the Bruin with the best trade value right now. He's got 62 points this year. Am I right in that? He's having a good year still. Sorry, he's got 47 points. I don't know where I got 62 from. He's got 47 points this year. He's got over 20 goals again. He's got the most 20-goal seasons in Bruins history. He's still, while old and not as fast as he used to be, was never the fastest guy in the world, but as a winger who can play special teams, power play, and penalty kill, he's still getting Selke votes every year. He's still, making the all-star team most years. And a contender could really use a guy like Brad Marchand. And the hot names have been Vegas and Colorado. There's good ties for both of them. Colorado, his buddy Nate McKinnon's there. Obviously, we've seen that Bruins to Colorado pipeline at the trade deadline before for a team captain and team legend. Vegas, the relationship with Bruce Cassidy, very much there. Although watching Vegas versus the Leafs last night, doesn't look like they need that much help. But there's certainly a relationship that's already there. And again, there's so many. I mean, every team that makes the playoffs could use a guy like Brad Marchand. Here's a guy who's like top 40 all time in playoff scoring. He can still muck it up. He can still give you something in all three zones. He can play, again, power play and the penalty kill. That's just a versatile guy no matter what age he's at. Now, it doesn't help the Bruins too much to have him. And of course, right now he's injured, so that doesn't help either. But if the Bruins don't trade him tomorrow and they announce an extension on Saturday, I just don't think that's a great thing for the organization. I really don't. Now, I'll get this part out of the way first. I understand that you're about to go through, at best, a retool, at worst, and most likely, a rebuild, a full rebuild. And you want someone that's a standard bearer in the locker room. Like, these are the intangible things, right? The guy is the team captain. He's been with them forever. He's won a Stanley Cup with them. He's been in the room with all those guys that you yearn for, right? Bergeron and Chara and Krejci and Recchi and Ferentz and all those guys. He was right there with them. He should be, kind of continuing that legacy, right? At least we like to think. And that should be, like, intangibly a guy that you want in the room when you're going to have a bunch of young guys who probably only know losing, because it's going to be a completely different team next year. But from a hockey sense, a purely hockey sense, it would make no sense to not trade Brad Marchand. And this is a good hockey town, man. It's the best in America, in my opinion. They know what they're talking about. You can't just fool the Bruins fans with this nostalgic, he's got the captaincy, you need to keep him around. Like, they know what the score is here. They know this team sucks and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, and that you have an opportunity to get a promising young player and potentially a first-round pick if you trade Brad Marchand. What is Brad like? Let's just think about it this way. He's on an expiring contract. Take the sentimentality bullshit out of it. Take it completely out. He has 6 weeks left in the season. You aren't going to make the playoffs. You're going to trade other assets. What good does it have? Like, how good is it to have Brad Marchand on this team? What good does it do to have Brad Marchand on this team for the rest of the season? Because to me, it's zero. It's none. And I just gave you the reasons why he would help a contender, but they're not a contender. He needs to be their second best player if he's on this team. That's not how it's going to work. Whatever team he goes to, if he's traded, he's not going to be the second best forward on the team. So that's already, we're done here. Like, he gives you nothing the rest of the season. What he could bring you is a chance to start building for your future. And oh yeah, by the way, he'll be 37 by the time he's a free agent. There's not going to be a huge market to sign him in the offseason. There'll be a good market to trade for him right now because of his playoff experience and his playoff acumen, but there's not going to be a huge market to sign 37-year-old Brad Marchand come July. So I say that to say, you could sign him. And it makes all the sense in the world. It would be a disappointment, I think, if the Bruins don't trade Brad Marchand at this trade deadline. I really think it would be a huge disappointment, and it would take a lot of explaining to the fan base to say why you didn't trade the team captain and future Hall of Famer, guy who's going to get his number retired with the team. It sucks that you didn't build enough of a roster around him to keep him around and be the captain that he should be. But you fucked this up, Don Sweeney, Cam Neely. You guys fucked this up with this roster management and this horrible asset management over the last 6, 7, 8 years. But you can fix it with a quick, short-term deal that will upset parts of the fan base, but will probably be the best thing that would happen to this team, is to trade Brad Marchand, get a first-round pick, potentially a player, and then sign him again in the offseason if that's what you want to do. One last thing on this. Can I bring up Claude Giroux, if I may? Remember him? Claude Giroux? Still playing. Going to play in the playoffs this year with Ottawa. 2022, wrong side of 30. Philadelphia going in the wrong direction. Team in Florida that is on its way to the President's Trophy. They're hoping to make a Stanley Cup run. Of course, they don't. And they go after Claude Giroux. It costs them. Costs them big. First-round pick, third-round pick, and a youngster by the name of Owen Tippett, now one of the Flyers' best players. If that's what you can get for Claude Giroux, who's to say you can't get something very similar for Brad Marchand? If I just gave that to you right now, first round pick, third round pick, and a guy like Owen Tippett for Brad Marchand, there's no Bruins fan in their right mind that wouldn't be like, co-sign, yes, signed, sealed, delivered, let's do it. So that's the score here. Trade Brad Marchand, start this retool, rebuild, whatever you want to call it, and then get him again if you want to. Speaking of Claude Giroux and the Ottawa Senators, what really stinks for the Bruins is that the Ottawa Senators are going to make the playoffs this year. It was a team coming into this year that I think a lot of us were thinking, boy, the Bruins aren't very good, but I don't know if Ottawa can catch them. And Ottawa put that to bed a while ago. They not only caught them, they've exceeded them. They're going to make the postseason. And hoping that Linus Ullmark is a little bit better in the postseason than he was for the Bruins. But there's been some interesting news out of Ottawa recently about their captain, Brady Tkachuk. Now, Americans or people who just tune in to hockey for the playoffs and don't watch much of the regular season, they fell in love with Brady Tkachuk during the Four Nations tournament because we saw exactly why the Senators have committed big money to him, made him their captain, made him the face of their franchise. This kid was born for playoff hockey. The only problem is he's never played a playoff game. But he is a prototypical power forward, which is a dying breed in today's NHL. He's got the skill to be in today's NHL, but he brings the oomph. He gets in the dirty areas. He scores in the blue paint. He mucks it up. He plays a 200-foot game. He's everything you want in a franchise center. He's not as graceful as Jack Eichel, but he brings the other stuff. Stuff that Bruins fans shit their pants for. The stuff that Bruins fans get an erection watching. Watching Brady Tkachuk is like watching your dad's VHS highlights of Cam Neely back in the day. It's not as good as Cam Neely, but you know what I mean. It gives you that same sensation, that same tingly feeling inside. This is what a Boston Bruin is supposed to look like. Well, some of the fan base in Ottawa does not share the same sentiment. And one of the papers in Ottawa had this thing. It's a write-in where fans will write letters to, kind of bite-sized columns, a couple paragraphs. And this is someone writing in about Brady Tkachuk. This is someone in Ottawa writing about Brady Tkachuk. The interview with Matthew and Brady Tkachuk confirms why I haven't respected Brady as our Senators captain. If leadership requires fighting, we need to question role modeling in sports. Now, this writer is referring to a Tkachuk brothers interview where they talked about the planned fight at the USA versus Canada preliminary game in the Four Nations tournament. The thing that all hockey fans ate up. No matter which side of the border you were on, everyone loved it. It's a great thing for the game. But this fan says, if leadership requires fighting, we need to question role modeling in sports. Hopefully, Senators management will review Tkachuk's role as captain. Truthfully, the brothers' punch-up made Canada's Four Nations face-off win even more satisfying. Meanwhile, we will continue to enjoy our PWHL Ottawa Charge season tickets. Go, Charge, go! Now, there's only one of two things that could be true, or maybe two things could be true about this writer. But at least one of these two things is true. It's either a plant from the Ottawa PWHL team, WPHL team, right? So it's either a plant from the Ottawa women's team, or it's just the biggest pussy on the planet. Either way, most of the comments were from Senators fans killing this person for writing such a thing. But there are some Senators fans that agree, like some of these, royal, bureaucratic, Ottawa is the capital of Canada. So they have a lot of these very purist of the hockey game saying, we don't need some thug like this to be our captain. We'd like a guy like Claude Giroux. That's the guy we want to be our captain. Fine. If that's the way you want it, we'll take him. We will give you anything except David Pastrnak to go and get him. Seriously, pick anything you want. And I wonder how many Senators fans will be saying that if Ottawa wins a playoff series. Because you know what will happen if they do? It will mean that Brady Tkachuk mucked it up, scored in the greasy, grimy areas, and did all the things that lead to success in playoff hockey. Already things that are part of his hockey DNA. Meanwhile, here we are with the Bruins saying, dude, we'll give you half the franchise for Brady Tkachuk. That is the perfect guy that we want right now. Perfect. A guy who's not afraid to do the dirty work and be the captain and be a big-time goal scorer for you, a 30-goal scorer. Because the premium that is set for power forwards in this league in 2025 is very high. And teams would kill to have that. In fact, there's a reason why Ottawa signed him to such a big contract, because these guys don't grow on trees. You can count on one hand how many power forwards there are in today's NHL. Brady Tkachuk is one of them. I'd do anything to have Brady Tkachuk. And now Bruins fans are taking notice because Michael Sullivan, who if you follow Bruins Twitter, you've probably seen this guy out here, big Bruins fan, has now started a petition on Twitter here it is. It is a petition for Bruins fans to show their sign of support for Brady Tkachuk. And it's got Brady to Boston there to show that, hey, we love the way you play. We love you just the way you are, former BU Terrier, son of Massachusetts hockey legend Keith Tkachuk. We'll take you just the way you are, Brady. And it's got a lot of buzz just in the first hour, a lot of buzz. So maybe, just maybe, our guy Michael Sullivan has this petition going and Brady Tkachuk will be a Boston Bruin. We can only hope. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We are live here every weekday, high noon Eastern time, giving you fresh Boston sports news and takes. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe to get notified every time that we're dropping a video on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. The Cam Show rolls on. The Celtics did something they've never done last night. We'll tell you about it. It's next on The Cam Show.
Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
I need to get real excited.
Sure.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Sheridan Vasquez. And this is Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions. And I will be interviewing some of your favorite musicians and maybe some you've never heard before. Join me on Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions for something new every time. You can find Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemediamusic.com. Yeehaw. And keep the music playing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Visit blogify.ai today for a free 3-day trial. That's Blogify, Blogify.ai today. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools.
Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIM-X. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at esimx.com. That's ESIMX.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Easy Sun has been living fearlessly under the sun since 2016. Born from sailors' need for convenient sun protection, our mineral sunscreen is crafted with natural ingredients offering broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays. Safe for your skin and the environment, stay protected on the go with Easy Sun, your ultimate sun care solution. Visit EasySun.com today. That's EEZYSUN.com.
Running it back here on the Cam Show. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We're live here on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, talking Boston sports, and then wherever you get your podcasts. So we appreciate you guys making it a part of your daily routine. We have talked Brandon Aiyuk and the Patriots. We have talked the Bruins trade deadline, potential Brady Tkachuk blockbuster deal sometime in the near future. All of that can be found on our YouTube page as well. But now we talk Celtics. And it looked like, you just look up, ho-hum, 10-point victory against the Portland Trail Blazers at the Garden last night. It's like, what's so special about that? Well, this Celtics team, they can't help it. They have to make it special. They have to make history. If you look at the glorious history of the Boston Celtics, the names that come to mind, right? Russell and Sam Jones, Bird and McHale, Pierce and Garnett, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. A history of dynamic duos that have come through this great organization. And yet, the duo of Peyton Pritchard and Derek White did something that no other Celtics duo has ever done before. It was the first time that Celtics teammates had each scored 40 points in the same game in the franchise's history. They did that last night. And it was the first time that two teammates had ever gotten their first 40-point games in the same game in NBA history. It was 43 for Peyton Pritchard, 41 for Derek White. It was the most combined threes by teammates in a game in history. They went 19 of 33 from three. That's insane. And it somehow feels less insane than it looked when you were watching it. I mean, it was playground shit. They were just throwing up rainbows and everything was going in. And I'm not talking about just banking in or getting that lucky Celtic Red Auerbach bounce on the rim. Like, these things couldn't have been placed any better through the basket. These things would have been good on those carnival baskets that only fit one basketball in them. It was just insane to watch. Like, this is what I mean when I say when the Celtics are at their best, it's a privilege to watch. Like, it's like watching, a great Best Picture Oscar from the 70s. Like, it's just perfect when it's going right. And right now, it's going very right. In a game where you didn't have Jason Tatum, load management, took the night off. You get this kind of performance. How many times can I tell you, like, in a game this year that, oh yeah, Jason Tatum's not going to play and two Celtics are going to score 40 points? You'd be like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But then I tell you that Jaylen Brown's not one of them. I mean, talk about this game last night made me so thankful for this organization. And I really hope they go on to win more than just the one title from last year. Obviously, that was a great one. But when you look at what they have built with this thing, it's deserved of more. because this looks like a dynastic, just the moves they've made, right? Like I think people were ready to see Peyton Pritchard go 2 years ago. Not that they didn't like the player, but it was like, well, the guy wants out and he's not going to be the starting point guard. So you might as well. And there were certainly people who were livid when Brad Stevens traded for Derek White. A first-round pick for this guy, plus you're letting Richardson go and Romeo Langford, this guy you're putting so much into. It worked. It worked. And if you look at the last 10 years, which is mostly Danny, but also some Brad in there too, because Brad's definitely made the moves, the trades, the signings that have been huge. But you look at Danny too. Outside of the top 3 in the NBA draft, it's a total crapshoot. And I don't think there's been anyone who's drafted outside of the top 10 or outside of the lottery quite as well as the Celtics have. Maybe Miami, but the Celtics, when you look at the last 10 years and just think about guys like Rob Williams, Terry Rozier, Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard was in the 20s. What was he, number 20, I think? Like that's already, and guys at the end of your bench that can contribute over the next couple of years with guys like Jordan Walsh and Baylor Shireman. Those guys are not going to be studs. They're not even going to be what Peyton Pritchard and Rob Williams were for the Celtics. But you know what I mean? Like they just don't draft like just useless guys anymore. That kind of ended with Carson Edwards and Romeo Langford and guys like that, Gershon Yabusele. They have hit on these out of lottery picks better than almost anybody. And now, Peyton Pritchard, you're looking at the 6th man of the year in the NBA. Who's gonna take it from him? Look at the way that his game has elevated. This is a guy coming off the bench. Like they have 2 point guards in the starting 5. He's obviously had to step up with Drew Holiday being hurt. But they have 2 point guards in the starting 5 and a good enough point forward in Jason Tatum. And a guy who can also handle the ball in Jaylen Brown now. And so Peyton Pritchard is strictly on the green team, the second team out there. And still, this year, he's giving you 14.5 points a game, giving you 3.5 assists, shooting 48% from the floor, shooting 42% from 3, and is capable of a night like this. And these 2 guys and that performance they had against Portland, it's just the epitome of what this Celtics iteration is. If it's not you, it's me, but always we kind of thing, right? Like it's anyone on any given night that could give it to you. Most of the nights it's going to be Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. But then there are going to be Derek White nights. There are going to be Drew Holiday nights. There are going to be Al Horford nights. There are going to be Peyton Pritchard nights. Shit, man, they had a Jaden Springer night against the Clippers. Right? Like, there's all these guys that are capable. Porzingis, I didn't even mention Porzingis. Porzingis will give it to you. He didn't play last night. By the way, Pritchard was 26th, the 26th pick in the draft. He just turned 27. Oh, what a valuable asset. Think of how many teams would kill for a guy like that. Now think of how many playoff teams would kill for a guy like that. All of them. And anyone in the world would take Derek White on their team. Anybody. The guys just don't put a foot wrong. And it's going to be these guys that are the reason, if they repeat, that's going to be the reason why. And that's no disrespect to the stars, but everyone knows about Tatum and Porzingis and Brown, Holiday. And to be quite fair, like a lot of these other contenders, of how many contenders there are, who knows? But a lot of these true contenders have casts like that. But the reason why Denver didn't repeat last year and doesn't look like the contender this year, it's because they don't have a bench. It's probably going to be the downfall of Cleveland. They don't have a bench. Celtics can bring a guy who can drop 40 on you like that, right off the bench. No team has that kind of luxury. If the Celtics repeat, it's going to be because of nights like these that Peyton Pritchard can give you, that Derek White can give you, that Drew Holiday will be able to give you once the playoffs start, because what a PTPer he is. History from Peyton Pritchard and Derek White. That, my friends, epitomizes the Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, Boston Celtics. So whomever's going to come in and buy this team, as long as those guys are in place and Brad Stevens is running the show, we're in a good spot, Celtics fans. We're in a very good spot, and it's one that you should not take for granted. One thing I don't take for granted is those of you who watch the show every day. We're here live at high noon Eastern time every weekday, and then wherever you get your podcasts. I appreciate the shit out of you guys. And I hope you'll follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe, get notified every time we drop a video, because not only do we do the full show, we do the segments as well to give you the bite-sized information that you're wanting every single weekday. So we'll see you tomorrow on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.